All right, today we're opening up a case file that takes us to the dark, swampy edge of New Orleans. Now, this isn't your typical ghost story from the French Quarter. No, this is something older, something way more primal, and it's all tied to one single forgotten stretch of road. Our investigation starts right now.
That's a pretty chilling thought, isn't it? The idea of a place that's right there on the map, but it's been, well, deliberately erased from conversation. A line of asphalt or dirt that all the locals know you just avoid, especially after the sun goes down. And for more than 100 years, this road has been the absolute epicenter of strange reports and deeply unnerving encounters. It's kind of the legend that New Orleans has tried to keep quiet. So today, we're putting that legend under the microscope. To really get a handle on the events, we first need to understand the subject of our investigation. And we're not talking about a single creature here, but something far more disturbing. We need to build a profile. You know, the thing that really gets under your skin about this origin story is that it doesn't describe some monster from another dimension. It claims this was once us. A community that, through complete and total isolation, just became something else. Something twisted by generations of poverty and separation from the entire outside world. And what's crazy is, these reported characteristics, they form this consistent profile that pops up again and again across decades of sightings. Witnesses describe something small, pale, with this unnatural, really unsettling way of moving. And that recurring detail about the smell of blood, well, that suggests something predatory. This isn't being described as a phantom, it's described as something physical and aggressive. You know, any legend is just a story, until you find a paper trail. And believe it or not, the Grunch Road case actually has one. This timeline shows how this whole thing escalated from just a local disturbance to a documented phenomenon. So you can see this is not some new internet creepypasta. The timeline starts over a century ago, with these vague but persistent reports, missing animals, weird tracks. Then, in the 30s, we get a direct, if kind of cautious, observation from a historian. But the real turning point seems to be the 1950s. As development pushes into their territory, suddenly the disturbances start happening right there on the road itself. Just think about that for a second. This is the fear an academic researcher felt. Laborde wasn't some ghost hunter, he was a historian. And yet, his own words describe an encounter that just stopped him cold. He didn't see it clearly, but he heard it, he felt it. And that feeling of being watched, that is a cornerstone of the Grunch Road experience. Okay, so we've covered the history. Now we're moving from the historical context to the direct testimony. These are the documented encounters that have kept this legend alive and really cemented the road's terrifying reputation. This chart here really lays out the core evidence for us. In 68, you've got actual physical evidence, these deep scratches that suggest something literally ran alongside a moving car. Then in 87, you get a classic sighting, but with a terrifying twist. There was more than one. And by 2003, the testimony shows this isn't just some story for thrill seekers. It's a real generational warning, passed down from parent to child. I mean, this quote from that 87 encounter, it's just bone-chilling. What really stands out is the creature's behavior. It wasn't startled like a normal animal would be. The witness describes an intelligence, an actual intent, that feeling of being waited for. It suggests they weren't just passing through its territory by chance. They were the focus of its attention. And all of this brings us to the most modern piece of the puzzle. In 2011, a team with actual technology tried to document whatever is on Grunch Road. And what they captured, well, it adds a whole new, very modern layer to this case file. Okay, let's just walk through this sequence of events. It starts out quiet, but at that 31-minute mark, everything changes. They spot a heat signature, but its shape, it's just wrong. Then comes the confrontation. It mimics them. That's a sign of intelligence, not just animal instinct. But here's the masterstroke, the sound from behind. They were being flanked. They were being hunted. The investigation didn't end with answers, it ended with a panicked retreat. And you have to remember, these weren't just some kids with a camera. These were experienced investigators. They had the footage, they had the data, and yet they've stayed largely silent, either unwilling or just unable to explain what they saw. And that silence is maybe more telling than any statement they could ever make. So where does all this leave our case file? Well, this isn't ancient history. The road is still there, the woods are still there, and the story is very, very much alive.
The case status has to remain active.
You know, what's wild is that despite decades of these unnerving reports, Grunch Road is still a public road. I mean, you could theoretically go there tonight. But the local wisdom passed down for generations says that would be a profound mistake. For them, this isn't folklore, it's a standing warning.
This quote right here, this just drives home the reality of the situation for the people who actually live there. It is not a fun, scary story for them. It's a boundary you simply do not cross. That is a deep, ingrained, unwavering fear held by the community that knows that area best. And that kind of fear, it doesn't come from nothing.
Look, of course we have to consider the rational explanations. Misidentified animals, shadows playing tricks on your eyes, absolutely. But those explanations start to feel pretty thin when you start stacking up the cumulative evidence. The deep physical scratches on a car from 1968, the intelligent mimicking behavior caught on a thermal camera in 2011. The facts just resist an easy dismissal. And so we close the file for now. But this case is far from over. It leaves all of us with a really unsettling question. Is it just a lingering legend, a misidentified animal? Or is it possible that deep in the Louisiana swamps, something that was once human has been waiting in the trees all along? The evidence is on the table. The conclusion is yours to draw.